And welcome to my porch here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I got done with all the initial caregiving stuff I needed to do. Get my dad sitting up for medication, hydration, empty his catheter bag, and more. Um, and I'm just out here smoking my little cigar, drinking my coffee, clearing my head up. The allergens in the air are terrible. It's overcast. It's going to be an interesting day. But I got to get things done on today, this Tuesday. Getting near the end of the month. We'll be into August. The year's both flying by fast and crawling along like a snail. Interesting how that could be. Had the cable guys out here last night finally, and they did find the cable box was bad. I remember back last week there was a lightning strike someplace out there, and it came through the line, coax line, and blew the cable line to the coax line. Everything attached to that coax in the house, something blew something. Our TV died, our Blu-ray player died, our cable box was dead. My Wi-Fi direct wire from the back of the modem, got a modem, and it hooks into the Wi-Fi, and from the back of the Wi-Fi you got Wi-Fi, but also direct lines, Ethernet lines, network lines, just to your computer or whatever else. If you want a direct line, I do it over Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi, thankfully, was working the whole time, so we could watch TV and just do everything like we normally do. And my computer, I could get on Wi-Fi and do my normal stuff too. But it turned out the lines, the back of that Wi-Fi box were blown, and people don't realize the things that happen. People immediately jumped up, well, your insurance will pay for that. It's not worth it. So I raised my insurance rates for what essentially is equipment that has devalued. They don't buy you a new TV when you got a 15-year-old TV, or a 10-year-old Blu-ray player or whatever. Who knows? But part of the life. So I was had the cable guy here. He did all he did, and he came to the door and he said, "I'm finished." Checked the lines out, said everything's fine, and he left. And so I turned around in front of my door to adjust my wandering welcome mat. Bent over to do that. I heard a thump, and I stood up slowly, and I turned, and there was a lady in the apartment across from me who put out her trash can, but she was in her door, her head out like this, and I smiled at her and said, "How you doing?" Dark apartment behind her, older lady, maybe older than me probably, very dark circle under her eyes. I don't see her come out very much. She used to have a car, but she doesn't have a car anymore, apparently. And she was a terrible parker. If my other neighbors have mentioned she was a terrible parker, but I rarely see her come out of her apartment. But I'm always nice when I do see her. She's a little bit jittery. But she's sitting there, in her door with her head out. Asked me how I'm doing like that, and I'm like, other people would have been spooked when they have that happen behind them. Family caregivers, we don't get spooked. I know the sound of things. I don't overreact to anything. I turned and there could be a ghost there, or a headless horseman. I don't care. I wouldn't do that at all. Very interesting. I talked to her briefly, and I said, well, I know we had the electric last week that had killed our TV and all that. I hope that didn't happen to you. She goes, no, I don't watch much TV. And I said, well, you ever need anything, come knock at our door or flag me down when you see me running around doing something. I will. She said, do. And I worry about her now because of the dark circles. And she's saying she doesn't watch a lot of TV, and there's darkness in her house behind her. Older people who become shut-ins or whatever. Can't do that. Can't let circumstance of life or whatever keep you locked in. You gotta get out. You gotta see stuff. You can't just live in a situation like that. I have my neighbor across the way. He was a very interesting man, 80 years old. Very interesting man, had a great life. Best stories I've heard in decades. And he's got more Indian arrowheads than anybody in antiques and not antiques, but fossils and all this stuff. Wow. What an interesting man. I said, oh, I looked over and when I was in his apartment, I just noticed when in his hallway, turned on the light, and I saw for the first time those little figurines, the car figurines, and I said, oh, I didn't know you had Kachina dolls. It's an Indian thing, look it up. And he said, you're the first person who has ever known that those are Kachinas. And yeah, because I grew up in the country, and Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Southern California, all the places. So of course I knew what Kachina dolls were. Made his day. But I'm over there. I see him every day, almost every day. And I always ask him if he needs something, and we talk, and I can keep an eye on the apartment, keep an eye on my dad on my phone in case I need to watch him, spend a little bit of time. Sit out on his porch and smoke my little cigar and drink my coffee and get across the parking lot real quick if I need to do that. But that's not just for him, it's for me too. I need other people to talk to besides just my dad. You can't become isolated. We gotta find ways as family caregivers to not be isolated. And I'm not saying make best friends with everybody on the planet. I wave at a lot of people when I sit out here. I don't care what they think about me. If they think I'm a bit odd, if I think I'm a lonely old man sitting out here with nothing else to do, they should come behind the door here and beyond the door, and they would know very shortly I have a lot to do. But I still do things because I have to keep connections, and not just on the computer, not just video chatting. I need to be out there. But if that's all you can do is video chat, like, do that. Do that. Engage. Just don't take any comments you get written about you or to you personally. Never do that. I learned that a long time ago when I was on the internet, before the internet was the World Wide Web, before AOL, and before you got mail, which should now be you got spam. But I know ways around that. So I learned a long time ago, don't take things personally, don't jump right to the bait. That's interesting because you can't rise to the bait when you're a family caregiver of somebody who has dementia. You can't jump in your hallway because there was a sound behind you. And you turn and see a spooky dark circle lady staring at you. just can't do that. And I don't. It was a life of interesting things that I've done, but I've lived a good life. Some good, some bad. But I've been all over the place. I wasn't just in one place all the time. So I've experienced and I've lived. And I did those things when I was younger. So I don't kind of need to go climb up Pikes Peak. I don't need to go do things like that, but I can visually see them online. If I want to explore things, I'm not walking to the top of a pyramid in Mexico. I'm not doing it. I did that back in 1979. I'm not going to do that again. I don't think my knees could handle it. But I have those memories of that and the pictures and all this other stuff. But I still engage other people because I could easily find myself becoming isolated from other people. And I try to engage people all the time. But as a family caregiver, we have to do that for ourselves, but we also have to do that for our loved ones. We cannot let ourselves become isolated. Do your best not to do that. Don't be afraid. And even though it's not really being afraid, it's just how things happen over time as the disease progresses, as the various diseases progress, the brain damage, people start disappearing on you. They don't want to come over. They don't want to do that because through the the sundowning and the noises and all this other stuff. And so begin to isolate yourself. And they begin to isolate you. You gotta stop that. Don't allow that to happen. If the people who you expect to come see you don't come see you, find other people. Let them know the reality of it, and they'll come. And the people that you expect think should be here all the time, who are never there, don't worry about them. Don't even keep up to date on what you're doing because, remember, you're only in their thoughts and prayers from a distance. And out of sight, out of mind. You might be out of sight and out of their mind, but don't be out of sight, out of the mind of reality and of other people. Get yourself up here, do things. Don't worry about your loved one as a screamer. Try to find ways to still engage with the world. Anyway, I'm going to go out and engage for the world today on Tuesday, and I will talk to you again at another time.